Hello everyone, welcome to Jai Kumar's Entertainment. I was actually laid off from Qualcomm on October 11, 2023. Yes, you heard it correct. So 2 months prior to I got laid off in the month of August 5th, Qualcomm's CEO actually shoot an email towards the global Qualcomm employees saying that in the month of October there's gonna be a massive layoff. So from August to October, the things weren't pretty much good at Qualcomm. Things like all the employees were in the tensed. So who's going to be impact? And then there was not much progressive work as well. And during those time, I actually observed uncertainties in my team. So because of which I started my resume prep, and parallelly I scheduled one-on-one with my ex-Qualcomm manager. That is 2 to 3 weeks prior my official layoff. During my one-on-one, I asked him a question like, "What is the probability of me getting impacted?" So his straightforward response was, "Assume that you are going to be impacted and start searching for a new job." Since I started my resume prep parallelly, I asked him like, could you please review my resume?" So he actually indeed reviewed my resume, and he gave certain feedback. Based on his feedback, I tailored my resume. So in this particular video, I'm going to be discussing how I prepared my resume and how I prepared for interview and how did I land a job after 2.5 months of layoff. So please do watch for this video. So number one, so communication with your team members and your manager. You know there are certain skill gaps that you have felt while working in your team. So just ask them. Like for example, like I'm from embedded background, so I was in a bootloaders team in Qualcomm. But I literally got clarified about there is something called as MMU, Memory Management Unit. And of course there were I was part of a UFI team, Unified Firmware Extensible Interface. That's the third stage of a bootloader again. So there were many concepts in the UFI firmware. So there were like I actually got clarified like what does this exit boot service do, and there are many more things, the technical terms which I got clarified. You should actually be very much apt in communication. You should know where you lag. The moment when you ask questions, obviously your team members or your manager, anyone, and then they're not going to say no. So they're going to explain, they'll happily explain because you're learning, and at the same time you're actually improvising your skills. So the more you ask the questions, the more you recognize your skill gaps, that's gonna be relevant for you. It's just not for the embedded systems case. Any IT domain or non-IT domain you guys are working. So you whenever you got laid off, I mean before laid off also, get technical terms like why these things are there, why are we doing these things. So get clarified by all these things. The more you get clarity, the more you learn. So number two is tailoring your resume. There is a big difference between tailoring a resume and creating a resume. Whenever you create a resume, it won't be 100% ATS friendly. When I say ATS friendly, there is a lot of skill set keep mismatched, as a result of which ATS will reject your resume. In order to mitigate this problem, I used an AI tool, the online AI tool called skillsyncer.com. So in that skillsyncer.com, you can actually copy paste a job description from the LinkedIn in one tab, and they copy paste your resume in another tab. So and then try to do a ATS match. That online tool acts like a virtual ATS, and then try to give us the ATS score. I mean, I would say like try to maintain your ATS score at least above 70. I mean, if it is above 80, I would say it's excellent. There's high chances that your resume will get shortlisted, and then a company might call you for interview. So So technically, I would say just try to add new skills. When I say new skills, like you can't add, like for example, again, I'm in my embedded system background. Like I always, most of the things in my previous experience, I did my C coding. So in case like there are certain embedded industry, they expect C++ coding as well. So don't hesitate to add C++ as well. So if you're really good at C and then learning C++ is not a big deal. Again, like if you're an IT field, like if you're doing a full stack developer, I mean you can relate like what extra skill that you can add it. Trust me, like by learning some extra things, you would enhance your resume, and then the probability of your resume getting shortlisted will be more, I would say. So this is one of the things. So this comes under tailoring of resume. So number three is validating your understanding. So most of you might think that you might have understood certain concepts clearly. Whenever interview figures out that your understanding is not so accurate, they'll try to manipulate the questions, or they might actually they'll add on few more questions. As a result of that, you'll get trapped. So that's a reason, like before any interview, just validate your understanding. Maybe you can validate with your friends who is actually good at certain concepts. So validate with the per people or with the colleagues, doesn't matter. For example, I would say in our embedded systems, like there is a concept of operating systems. In operating system, there is something called as semaphore and mutex difference. So trust me, like, you will find multiple resources on the internet. So for example, they'll say mutex is a locking mechanism, semaphore is a signaling mechanism. You have a tendency to byhead that and answer. So it's like then there will add on questions like what is locking mechanism, what is signaling mechanism. So if you don't understand that proper way, you won't be able to convince that person saying that I understood this concept. So of course it's not so easy to understand. You have to sit and do a lot of analysis to get that proper idea. So I will be making that video to understand semaphore and mutex in my upcoming video, but you'll get some gist of how, in under what circumstances that semaphore and mutex can be used. Basically, the third point is to validate your understanding. Point number four is dig deep until you reach the dead end. So this might sound funny for you, right? But there is a deeper meaning in it. So let's say you have a particular question and you'll find an answer for this. And the subsequent question would be why this particular answer is an answer for this question. And again, that would be a subsequent question, right? So you'll find a subsequent answer for this, another answer for this. And then you'll find, then again you need to think why this another answer is an answer for this question. So again you need to find an answer for this another question. So you like this only, you need to keep on asking the questions by yourself until you reach the dead end. If you keep on asking your questions by yourself until you reach the dead end, you will develop a progressive mindset. And this particular progressive mindset is actually very helpful for you to crack one of the toughest interview. And also you'll grow your knowledge very vast. So I always recommend you guys, like, just keep on asking questions until you reach the dead end, or until you're convinced. Have you ever thought why scope and visibility of a local variable is inside a particular function? Well, that would be another video that I'll be explaining you in depth. But yeah, in this particular point, my goal is to explain how can you learn in depth. So the point number five is coding practice. Of course, you're from embedded software engineer or any other software background, you will surely expect the questions on DSA, data structures and algorithms. So you just learn linked list, binary search tree, stacks, queues. Besides data structures, coming to algorithm, just try to learn about dynamic programming, backtracking, two pointers approach, and then try to understand all these algorithms, and then try to understand under what circumstances you can apply all these things. So based on your understanding, just go with the lead code problem. So lead code, you don't have to wholly invest yourself on lead code. You'll see a lot of YouTubers saying that, oh, I solved 500 lead code problems, 600 lead code problems. I would say that's completely irrelevant. especially in this time because you'll be having short span of time. So like you can actually invest your time on doing medium problems. So just learn these algorithms and try to focus on solving medium problems, and then eventually by reading the problem there is high chances that our brain just gives up without even trying it. So I would say just calm yourself down and try to read the problem, understand it, and then slowly train your brain to apply those algorithms. So you can try it for 20 to 30 minutes solving by your own. In case if you're not able to solve it, it's okay to see the solution. So there is nothing like there is nothing wrong in seeing solution, okay? So it's just that you're learning, and then your preparation. So preparation is seeing the solution. That's a process of learning and preparation. So there is nothing wrong in that. So that's how you become better and better. So do practice coding. Now the point number 6 is re-evaluating your answer after the interview. Yes, of course, you need to re-evaluate your answer after the interview, because you might have thought that you have given a correct answer, but it is not always true. So when you try to re-evaluate, when you try to recall after the interview, you might realize saying that, oh, I could have answered this particular answer in a better way than I answered it before. So, but yeah, like even after realizing that you answered it wrong, you don't have to get discouraged. Rather, just think about continuous learning. So again, like this is also part of learning. Don't worry about the result. At the max, you might get rejected for this interview, but there is another interview ahead wherein you can prove yourself. After listening to all these points, you might have thought it's a lot of work, right? Yes, indeed, it is a lot of work, and this is what we call it as hard work. Even after doing a lot of hard work, you might actually face rejection due to your bad luck. So, when I say bad luck, even though you have performed well, there might be another candidate who has actually outperformed you. And there is also a scenario wherein the interviewers are looking for a specific skill sets that you don't have, but you're good in the rest of the skill sets, but still you might face rejections. So I would say just don't get discouraged by all these things. Rather, just follow these 6 points. You can. This is actually a golden rule, you know. Keep on just tailoring your resume by adding new skills that are learnable. When I say learnable, the skills that you have already prerequisite. For example, in order to learn C++, C is C, understanding C is a prerequisite, I would say. So yeah, so just keep on adding some extra skills that can be learnable. Anyway, good luck in your job search for whatever the reason is. It might be due to the layoff, or you're a fresher who actually graduated from a college, or a person who is looking for a job change. So, be it whatever the reason is, do just follow the 6 points. I would say this is really helpful. Just keep on giving interview. At one point of time, you will hit goal, if not now. So even if you have a bad luck, like if you're technically strong, that technical skill will actually help you at one point of time. So that's what I would say. Uh, anyway, uh, thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, you can like it. If you dislike this video, you can dislike. You have liberty to do that. Anyway, with this, I'm concluding this video.